the board members.
There goes in an island dove, dude.
During the course of time,
No, island dove
I've
is posted,
seen
so they will be coming out
three,
of their
at least
garbage
three
on our
attempts to
ground. We
purchase
don't
the
stop
property.
this. I mean, I'm not
Each
for,
attempt to purchase the property, one was by
that's not crazy,
Bigfoot.
but I'm for a guard.
Had
Guards
attorneys, they
to
had,
keep people from coming up in here and dumping their garbage on the
they
ground.
worked on it for about a year and a half, trying to figure out how they could purchase the property.
someone
Looked
there
at
to stop
the
this.
encumbrances, looked at the hassle of getting people. And in their wisdom, they chose not to.
You know,
The
Numb's
county,
a good buddy of mine,
in
and
80,
I feel
I could
really
get a
bad
better,
that he doesn't like
better
me now. And he voted for me, and a lot of people out here voted for me, and they feel like I'm screwing
in
them over.
1985,
I'm not.
the county started, tried to
As
purchase
Secretary of
property. It was
the
offered by the
Yes.
State
That
Land
you run a
Commission.
nonprofit and you're
Abe
following
Siebel,
Robert's
the
rules
board,
of China.
again,
On
in
your
their
agenda,
wisdom,
there needs to be
after
a
their
place for
attorneys
public
talked to them,
Exactly.
Legally.
Sweetheart,
chose not to get
100%
involved
agree.
with what the
Legally.
problems
For him
out
to
there
say
at
that,
Slab.
oh no, you're gonna wait,
Uh,
you've gotta approve your
in
minutes to get them out, man. You can't just say,
1987
oh, wait for a
Bigfoot.
year.
We've got the minutes from the first
I
meeting
know.
if you'd like. Have you got a copy?
Yeah, if
Not
you
yet.
could.
Okay, I've got a copy up there for you, and I've got a copy
It's
of
hard
our
to read,
agenda.
and
And there's
this is from an
there
account
are a few
by-
words that need to be tweaked
by
in this.
Colorback,
For instance, one of our
Nadine
agendas says affordable
England.
housing.
She wrote a
We don't
book
live in
called
houses.
I Remember.
Okay.
I'm just
And
taking
what's affordable?
this
Who
from that
decides
book,
that?
but I remember too because
decide
I was
affordable's
here.
free. Okay?
Uh,
And housing should be changed to living space.
In
Because we all live in-
okay, Bigfoot in 1988, they decided that they would try to put in work out. In their wisdom, they chose not to. In 1991, the state, this is interesting. In 1991, the State Land Commission published a legal notice that the 640 acres was for sale. Have we seen a legal notice to that effect? Just throwing it out there. In 1991, they were talking about evicting flat dwellers.
Salvation
They
Mountain.
were talking about the county was considered buying it. They chose not to.
Yeah, that was it.
Somebody
nuts with it, dude.
gave some information about anonymous,
I think I'm on the board, but I
Yeah,
go
you
back
better
up
go,
there.
yeah, public
some
comment.
munitions
Yes.
buried
Your
at the
agenda.
slabs. Disposal team checked it out, they didn't find it. Back in 92, the County Regional Services Committee was trying to encourage the Board of Supervisors to purchase the slab. Again, they chose not to. In 1993, Don Campbell, a San Diego building contractor, again was going to purchase the land. After a period of time, he decided that it would be not in his best interest to purchase the land as well. So I don't know what advantage the nonprofit would have in terms of purchasing the land, other than setting themselves up to the same kind of liabilities that these other entities and individuals and organizations discovered after some research. So I'm encouraging people I'm encouraging the board not to purchase the land. I like the application idea. Then if someone else decides to purchase it, they might, but still let them go through the gears, decide whether or not they should purchase the land. As soon as this land's purchased, then we are living on private property, and we're subject to all of the codes, county codes, the EPA regulations. The board's going to have to make some decisions regarding all these violations, zoning codes. In this county, you can't live in an RV on private property unless you have a structure of certain size. I'm a building contractor, an electrical contractor. A few years ago, I tried to pull a permit from the county to install a 7 kilowatt solar system out on Hot Mineral Springs Road. The owner of this property had lived in this county for years. He was a school bus driver. His wife was a teacher, is still a teacher. We had to pull a permit. So the county building inspector comes out and he notices that, oh, geez, there's a lot of RVs out here on your property. This person lived next to the spas up here in Hot Mineral Springs Road, and he was storing some of his friends' RVs while they were gone for the summer. The county, and the county also noticed that he had built awning around his mobile home, and there was no permit that he pulled. It was constructed well, welded up, it had a good foundation, but there was no permit. They also noted that there was 2 cars parked on that property that were not running. They cited him for that. Bottom line is he had to make all those corrections. He would have either had to get a permit, and in order to have an RV storage facility, he would have had to construct roads. He would have had to provide lighting, or get rid of the RVs. So he had to call up all his friends, come and get. Some of them sold them. You know, some of them had to come back in the middle of summer, move them. He had to hire an engineer to verify and stamp the approval on the awning, and he had to move the cars inside of the building. So what's going to happen when this is private property? Whoever owns it, you know, us, them, anyone, you know, the county, the EPA, as Gary so aptly put it, has a head to cut off. Now they don't. They do not have a head to cut off now. As soon as this gets transferred in any manner to private property, I think this place is not going to be a free place anymore. We're going to have instead of an absentee landlord, someplace with the state land commission, we're going to have a landlord, i.e. the board or whoever purchases it, and we're going to have to be accountable for them. And they're going to have to be accountable for all the code violations. I've seen out of East Jesus, there's a lot of tall structures out there, and I don't think they would make it in terms of any kind of a code. I see this facility here on the range. You can't be having a dance every Friday without having somebody, or every Saturday, excuse me, without having some sort of permit from the county. What's going to happen to us? What about me and my business? Not so much my business, but the trees I've planted, the cactus I've grown over the last 7 or 8 years. What's going to happen? That's all I ask. Don't buy it.
Thank you, Mike.
Can I ask some clarifying questions?
No.
How do I get the call? How do I get the call? What do I need to do?
You just have to go up there and raise your hand.
Who's next?
Your question, Mike. What will happen to your business? We plan on bringing you a lot of business. Okay? Once we're incorporated as a nonprofit, we are allowed to provide affordable housing to the people that live here, trailers, solar power, batteries. Who do you think we're going to go buy that stuff from, Mike? We're coming to you. We're coming to you. We're bringing all our business local. Anything we have to spend on anything, that's what's going to happen to your business. It's going to increase. What's the second one? Don't buy the land.
please.
If we don't, someone else will.
No, they won't. That's the
Yes,
point.
they will.
Nope.
Yes, they will, Mike.
Nope.
Look,
Nope.
look, dude. Honestly, I was with you when I ran for this. Okay, I already had nummy conversation. I've already lost some friends over this. I was voted to kill this. I understand that. I was voted on this board to be a monkey wrench in this whole system. But since I've been on this board, I have gained access to information I didn't have
Then share
before.
it.
And I'm really seriously concerned. If we don't do this, someone else is going to come in and do it.
Then share the
And
information.
God forbid anything happen to you, Mike, I got your back 100%. Okay?
Yeah, I hope you don't
I've got
get burned
everybody's
out.
back here, dude. You guys should be able to have your camps and do what the hell you want in it. The same it's always been. All we're trying to do is to keep it so it stays the same, plus improvements. We're going to get rid of the garbage, okay? That's one of the biggest things out here.
You can do that without buying the land.
I want to know who you think
Thank you, Jack.
is
I have
gonna buy
there's
it.
another question from the floor. Twig?
May I ask a few clarifying questions from the board?
Okay.
The proposed Bill of Rights is something that specifically limits the powers of the board, correct?
That's my understanding.
And this limitation can include things that puts the nonprofit itself at risk, such as code violations. If there is some sort of limitation in that to the board that they cannot do something about code violations, that simply is on the board's head. They're stuck in a rock and a hard place. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
And so, if that happens, then it's my understanding that people aren't put in jail for code violations. Is that also correct? So that's simply the board will be fined until the board goes bankrupt and will be dissolved. Is that also correct?
Yes.
So, therefore, it really kind of comes down to the board, and since the board is the nonprofit is a type of limited liability corporation, it actually doesn't affect each one of you personally, just simply the nonprofit itself will just be dissolved.
That's correct.
So, the code violation worry, really all that does, if it happens, the nonprofit will be dissolved.
What happens when it's dissolved?
Okay.
No, that is not the plan, I don't think. I'm not on the board, I don't know. But the worry that these code violations will go down on Sola Mike's business or his home,
It will go down on all of us.
On all of us.
why?
Yeah, because, first of all, this is the poorest
If they start with
county.
one, they're not going to stop.
If you get a thought in your mind that once this becomes a corporation, or we purchase the board purchase, if you believe that there will not be a building inspector
Thanks a lot,
or a
buddy.
health department
I tried.
or an electrician
Stand together.
out here at some point in time, knocking on some
Not over. It's not over until it's over.
But what I was just trying to clarify there is that because the land is owned by the corporation,
Not yet.
the corporation is the one that will be fined, correct?
Correct. If they don't have any money, they're gonna go bankrupt, and then this other group of people, whoever they are that they are afraid to tell us, is going to buy the property.
May I ask another question as well? How many people are at the slabs right now?
I'm
who have
actually,
vested-
hang on. I've actually been told point of order. One of the things, and we have, I have a quick response and then Justin has a response. And one of the things that I want to respond to is that we are subject to county code now. And in my honest opinion, I think the reason they don't enforce is for the same reason that Mays has a giant beer sign in front of their parking lot that says, "Welcome Snowbirds."
What you
And the
think
fact is the county wants our money. Otherwise, they would have shut us down already because they can.
What you think is irrelevant.
Okay, Paul, you'll be the second. Twig is number one. Okay. I'll call on you. Paul, I'm gonna call on you number 2. Okay, Twig is number 1.
My name is Twig Bertel. I'm not a member, but I haven't ruled it out. My question is this guy with a hat on. I don't know his name, but I know he has a really nice dog. Jack. Okay, I'm glad you're proud of your trailer and the circle around it. And here is a list of the Bill of Members' Rights and a list of no one will be evicted from Slab City for the following reasons. If the board takes over, now you can be evicted.
Are you saying if this board takes over,
If the board takes over this land, as it stands right now, you cannot be evicted from Slab City
Yeah, exactly.
unless you go to jail.
Exactly.
But here's a list of reasons you cannot be evicted
And there's a bunch
if
of
the
reasons
board takes
you can't
over.
be evicted, but those aren't on the list.
You should not be, I have the floor. You should not be evicted, right there. No one will be evicted from Slab City for those reasons. But you can be evicted. Now you can't be evicted.
How?
The board of directors will vote on who stays. If it says you will not be evicted from Slab City 4, then put in the Bill of Rights, no one will be evicted from Slab City for any reason.
Exactly.
But the way, I have the floor, please. Please, I have the floor. If it's private property, somebody can call the sheriff to notify you are trespassing on private property and you have to leave. If you don't leave, you can be arrested. In Slab City right now, no one, to my knowledge, has ever been evicted for any reason, on
they've
this
been
list
burned
or
out.
otherwise.
Yeah! Yeah!
Now, wait, I come into my question. I'm coming.
Burned out.
Yeah, you'll be.
Hold on. Now my question is, we're all riding a wave of rumors started by Builder Bill and that lady up there from the beginning. If it's going to happen, the state of California does nothing by handshake. Get it in writing or get the guy up here to explain to all of us this is the state's position. And I'm with, so are Mike. The state of California is in a financial crisis. They would much rather sell this than give it to you or me or anybody else. So I'm saying that we're in a wave of fear. Don't fear this. Get it in writing. Get the guy from the state, the representative. That's his job.
He's already done it a couple times.
Get him up here and explain it.
Nothing happening.
That's my question. Why do you not have the guy from the state up here?
Okay, so the question is, why has the state representative not been here up on the stage?
Well, why not ask, what can we do to get him up here?
It's your job.
Ask him.
It's your job!
Write him a letter and invite him.
Your job.
Write him a letter. They do things in
Okay.
writing with the state of California. I work for the state of California.
Yeah, they do things in writing once they've been legislated, and
No, you're in the wrong.
everybody,
Wait a minute.
it seems, has called Mr. Porter. And
No.
the one thing that they all have in common is that there are multiple applications for the
Two.
purchase of this land,
Two.
and
Two. One for the slabs, one for the mountain.
Those are the two!
incorrect, there is also one unknown. It's
Bullshit.
That's
was
bullshit.
it Dale's
Is that the
or
beast?
Peaches? It's in Peaches.
That's the beast? The third one?
Peaches had a conversation with Mr. Porter and indicated that was the third. He hasn't released the name. So,
Bullshit.
however, Lynn and Bill have already told people about yet another offer. We don't know who the unknown offer is,
I'm
but
running
there
out
was
of
another
beef
gentleman from
sticks
the
here.
Salvation Mountain Board who said himself that he wanted to secretly buy the land.
They get something.
And he's going to charge you rent.
You want that?
Hell yeah. The beast is
No.
That's the beast.
Okay.
Right
A
there.
point, I'm going to hand this back to Wyatt because
We all go to FEMA camps now.
that question's been answered. Point of order.
Benghazi, Benghazi.
Point of order.
Show me. You quote it.
All right. Did we answer the question sufficiently?
Because I'm gonna rewrite this shit so when they charge you a dime, no, it's gonna happen now.
Recognize Paul again.
Listen, I got no problem with you.
I want to throw my little 2 cents in on something Solar Mike mentioned, on something the next guy mentioned, on something I'm sure everybody is worried about. Okay? And that is, you know, what's going to happen to us and who are we open to attack from for staying here and all that if we do this board. And there's, you know, I have 2 personal experiences that deal with that. Number one is this nice little old lady named Mona Knight who lived on the private property across the street from the shower, and 5 years ago she asked that a power pole be brought to her property. Okay? There was already one there pre-existing, but it was not hooked up. They came out to her private property and they said, well, a pole's going to be $25,000. Why do you need a pole? And she said, I have my 5th wheel trailer sitting here on my private property. And they said, oh, no, 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 no. That's going to be $25,000 in fines if you want to keep staying there. She hired me to help her move her triple axle 5th wheel that had been sitting there for 13 years as a laborer to get everything ready. It took us 2.5 months in the summer months so that she could get out without being nailed for fucking trying to live there the way she always had, because she got their attention by asking for a power pole. Here's the second story I have in my own personal experience that is along these lines. Leonard Mountain was under the same threats from the EPA in like 90 or something, and he had to form a board just like this to protect his ass.
Bull.
Wait a minute.
He did not have to.
Bullshit.
Shut up, everybody. He did not have to buy the land. He formed a board. He formed a community land trust.
Bullshit.
He didn't have to buy it. All I want is protection. I don't care if we have to buy the land or not to do it.
We stipulate. Sit down.
Leonard was protected some way. Nona Knight was not protected in another way. We have a board like Leonard did. Can't we make this work so we can all stay here? Can't we?
Yes.
That's all I'm interested in finding out.
In your imagination.
Liars.
Yeah. This happens all the time. It's amazing.
Okay, so there's 2 questions that probably haven't been answered as much as they would like to be answered. And the first one is an easy one.
Who's the beast?
Speak up.
Why not get Jim Porter out here to have a question and answer period? So why not tell us to do that and we'll do it?
Why didn't you do
I
it?
had to tell you, Lynn.
So why not do that? Why not ask us and we'll do it?
They ask you, right?
So Christina, ask her and see if she can do it. Don't just demand do something. Ask her to do it. And we're here and we're asking questions.
You've
So
already had
then
discussions with
how
Jim
can I
Porter.
say to you, we'll do it, and then you just keep saying, oh, well, get them here. Get them here.
Do it.
What's your
Ask
point?
us and we'll do it.
Ask you?
Oh, that's right. We asked, and then they never answer, and then next week
Do
we get
it!
to ask again.
But if you want him here, if you want Jim Porter here, why do you?
All right.
Motion to dissolve.
There is a reason why we had an election of
Motion to
officers.
dissolve.
I want a point of clarification here for this board. I have been elected as the president of this board, of this corporation. I put my neck on the line, guys, and I'm willing to. I've got everything to lose too. Now, we want to get these questions out. We are going to be here until forever if we continue with a bazillion stories.
Okay.
Can we keep it to questions and answers? I also would like to be able to read out some of these, because some of the questions that we're getting, you see that we're working. We're trying to get these answers so we can get it out and hopefully avoid doubling up our questions. Okay? One basic question was asked, where does the dollar go? The answer to that, number one, is right over there by where the snack bar, where everybody is signing up for members. That is your answer at the moment. That's where it goes. That's the answer. Do you want me to word it any differently?
How many members?
Okay?
How many members?
I want to move on to the questions. 2, I want clarification. What is being accused as an agenda? It is not an agenda. It is leaked documents, unofficial board documents. Those are documents. All those documents are suggestions. They're a printout of suggestions for what we just created a committee. Please get with the committee chairs for that committee to discuss that. We would like to get to the questions again. So I'm going to turn this back over
to publish this
to the next.
You should work equally hard.
Thank you, Christina. This is Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Oh, man. You can't
Hi,
make no money.
how you doing?
I didn't say.
What do you hear? What do you say?
I didn't get any notice. I got evicted. I got evicted.
You pay
I did not get notice.
Do I have the floor?
Well, I believe that, in my opinion, you do.
Oh, now it's in my opinion.
Okay.
Please sit down.
I ain't got all day. Come on, let's move on.
Okay.
It's only about, 85
My question
miles
was in
now.
regards to information, things that you folks said when you got up and talked for your 5 minutes. Very, very great talk. I appreciated the information I got from all of you. Very noble, very emotional, and it was a good talk. You did a good thing.
Hey, Paul.
You did a good thing. My question is, and this was mentioned several times during the meeting, when you folks spoke as well as when other folks spoke, and it has to do with the people that are going to buy this place or allegedly buy it or that put bids in on it or there's rumor that somebody's going to do it. My question is, who are these people? Who are these 2 or 3 or 4?
How I got kicked out, and I
However many,
didn't find
whatever
it
the
out
total is.
by the 2 people that were going to move in my goddamn trailer that I've already fucking...
Whoever is... What? Why not? Yeah, if you know that there are 4 people buying it, why don't you know who these people are?
I know who 2 of the people
Whatever
are.
the numbers are.
Okay. Salvation Mountain Board has put in an application for the land. That's one.
And you guys.
Go ahead.
The other is the application that I put in on behalf of Slab City Community Group. That's the second one.
While you represented nobody.
The other 2 have not put in applications.
Who are they?
Yeah, that's right.
One
There's 2 B's still.
is an unknown that Jim Porter spoke of in an email to, I think it was Gary Brown. That's right.
Yeah.
And the other one was a fellow from Florida from the Salvation Mountain Board. So one of the other 5 members from the Salvation
Who's going
Mountain
to buy the
Board
land?
said that he
Only one in
wanted
Florida
to buy
on
it
the board of
secretly.
Salvation Mountain, Bob Levesque.
Somebody wanted to, that's on this board, wanted to buy it?
No. So another person on the Salvation Mountain Board
Oh, Salvation Mountain, okay.
that doesn't live at Slab City, he lives in Florida, said
Name
that
is
he
Bob
wanted to
Levesque.
buy it secretly.
Bob Levesque.
So,
Leonard's nephew.
well, there was,
Leonard
in one
Knight.
of the emails that was sent out, I'm not sure if it was from the person you mentioned or Gail, a guy, or I'm not sure which one. But in it was a response from Porter. And there was a link in there, and it said, if anybody wants to know who is going to be buying this stuff, send me an email.
That's correct.
Yep.
And so it's not secret then. I mean, if he's going to email to me who's going to buy the place or who is going to bid it,
No.
I
There's no
haven't put my
serious
name in
offers.
yet. But
Sorry, Paul, I'm not sure
So-
what the question
well,
is.
in one voice you're saying it's a secret, nobody knows who's buying it, and the next voice he's saying, send me an email, I'll tell you who's buying it.
Right.
Send him an email.
Okay, okay.
So let me.
We
your
can get it
question
for you.
is, who is the person who wanted to secretly buy?
Yeah, who are
the
these
land?
people?
That was the person who was on the Salvation Mountain.
And who is it? What's his name? Or
Bob
her?
Levesque
Bob Levesque, never heard of him.
From-
That's okay.
from Florida.
Leonard's nephew.
Leonard's nephew.
Yeah, I have been to Florida.
I can give you his info.
That's all I
I'd like to answer this question. The answer is that we haven't heard it. There's no other actual applications in except for the two we've spoken of.
Who's the beast?
But listen, the two state officials came to us offering the deal. We didn't make this up.
Which state?
We didn't even go to them. That means they're actively looking to sell it. And when I asked Jim Porter directly, what's going to happen if we don't do this? He said, I expect it's going to go up for auction. He said that to me in my own ears.
It's been for auction for 50 years.
Probably in August.
Nobody wants it.
That's the same conversation, yes.
Just one other thing. Originally, when this group wanted to turn it into an RV park, the price was $115 grand on the property. And the state said that there's a $20 million indemnity here to clean up. Woo! Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Hey, ask them if they
Paul, was there a question in
can they
there?
even do business.
Paul,
I
is
don't
there a
think there's
question?
quorum yet.
Oh, okay. So I think probably Ken is Ken and then Peter. So Ken first.
They're not going to give you a membership meeting until the end of the year. So get a hold of all your members and sue them and dissolve the board.
Okay, Peter.
Get the list from Mike and get them all together.
My name is Peter. I came here in '95 from Oh My God. We lost Oh My God. I don't want to tell you any stories here because they demand that I ask them a question. We lost Oh My God. And I'm here since '95. Mike over here, Solar Mike, is my witness. The question is, why are we here at Slab City splitting the family in half?
Why are you splitting the family?
We're splitting the family in half because we're all individuals. A lot of us want to live the way that we've lived, and if we don't do anything, we can keep doing that. You know what? They can sit back and keep doing that. They don't have to be on the other side. I think with all the information that I've been provided so far, this is the only way to keep doing it. And you guys can sit back and not be a part of it and say, those guys do nothing. Talking about us. You can say, those guys do nothing. I sat here 20 years before they were here, and I've sat here another 10 since then, and nothing has ever happened to me. All right, the family is splitting in half because, I don't know how to explain that to you. Some people just want to be individuals, and they think that if we have to do this just to deal with the states in a way that the only way that the state will understand us and listen to us this way, that they got to rock the boat, that it makes them liable for anything we do here. It does not. This is the only way the state will ever listen to us. The only way.
That's a lie.
You know what? Let's answer the question of who's family before we decide how we're split.
Okay, Peter.
On short notice, we have collected 61 signatures on a petition that we want no change on a short notice. We shall go ahead to collect signatures from the hundreds of people that live here, that are not here, that don't want any part of this three-ring circus.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I'd like to just make that if nobody else can overcome the obstacles to buy the slab property, then we can't either, and this is a joke, so just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Take all the land stuff out of it. Read this.
Okay, Ken.
This is a question.
You're right, ask the basket.
Oh, Kenny has the floor.
You can't stand there.
Is there any way to turn this down so I can... All right, how about... Would you want me to
Move away from the speaker and it'll work.
Here, come over here. Away from the speaker.
All right, sure. My name's Bus Kenny. I lived here almost 15 years, all right? I know every single person that's on this board. I built the place at 10,000 Tank Road from a bare plank place. It was nothing, bare on the slab. I'm just saying that to say that I'm a slabber, all right? I spent 7 years here and never left for one single day, summer or winter. Never camped anywhere here for 7 years. Never went on a vacation, all right? No electricity, no running water. Nothing. Spray bottle, pour water in my head, live in a tank. So that's all I'm going to say about myself. Now here I'm going to make the first quote. All right, let me make a point here. They like to say, oh, I have this false document. Well, I have this document, but I also have the actual bylaws in my hand, which I've been studying nonstop for about 36 hours. Yeah! All right? And if you hear some of the stuff that's in these actual official bylaws, you'll start throwing up all over here, okay? Not a single one of these people ever mentioned one word about rent or lease. And yet over and over and over in here, it says you're going to pay lease.
Yeah!
And I'm going to quote from here in a minute, but I'm just making my introduction here, okay? Not only are you going to pay a lease, you're going to have to ask them for permission for your lease.
Here, here.
All right? And they got the right to go into a secret executive group, totally private, and decide who gets that lease. And I'll quote that out of here.
Kenny, I have a question for you as the president then. Would you be willing to be the co-chair for the bylaws committee to help
Not a penny in tribute! Not a penny in tribute!
It's my turn to speak. You're out of order.
No, sir, I am not out of order. You've asked the point of question. I am asking you.
You asked it. All right, here's my thing. I'm going to
come over here away from the
this
speaker.
Is my first.
Come here.
I talk loud, so you don't have to. Okay. I'm going to make my first quote. You see I have it checked in here and everything. This is in response to Lynn's statement about how she made a unilateral agreement with the state and doesn't want to apologize because her poor husband.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, she called Kevin, what was it, some poor bugger? The poor bugger died before I could get the contract or whatever. What about that poor bugger? I happen to know there's somebody here, that was her brother. He ain't no poor bugger, so I'm going to read this that proves that what she did is null and void, has no point, is irrelevant, and has no application. There is no application. All right, here I go. There's a little long statement. Any officer agent of the corporation specifically authorized by the board of directors, which obviously wasn't, may on behalf of the corporation enter into those contracts or execute and deliver those instruments that are specifically authorized by the board, without the express and specific authorization of the board of directors, no officer or agent or the corporation may enter into any contract or execute and deliver any instrument in the name of the corporation. Voila, it's meaningless.
Yeah! Yeah!
Answer to that, no contract exists.
No application was written?
And I quoted it, I didn't misinterpret nothing. You're out of order, dude, that's my floor.
Let him go, let him go.
Hi, puppy.
Oh, here, it's a rant. I'm quoting from your bylaws and it's a rant, all right? Okay, indemnification. That means legal liability. Okay? You know what it says in here? None of those people can be sued unless the corporation pays all their legal fees. All right? Now, starting next week, there's going to be lawsuits filed left, right, up, and down. There might be 50 of them. Where are they going to get the lawyers to pay? They got nothing.
Lynn's a lawyer.
All right? There's so many people out here that already told me they're going to sue. How are you going to hire a lawyer? How are you going to defend yourself?
Are you going to take it to Canada court?
You got any money?
Hey!
That is a matter that the board will take care of at the time.
But this is the legal bylaws now. All right, this is the legal bylaws now, not some other day when they have a court. So are you going to take out the thing about the... Oh, no, let me get to the good stuff, all right? Oh, I love this one, too. The back of the whole official bylaw. And this is not the so-called stolen one. It was in their trash can. And the guy picked it out of the trash can and gave it to me, all right? So let's not... And you know what? Wait, no, you got no question. You can answer the question later. All right? Okay, all right, let's go back to the first one.
You've got the seat, you've got the bride. Where's the sex?
I'm going to hand the question over to the president.
Chicken shit.
Hey!
Please clarify the question.
Take off, poser!
Agreed to allow her to enter into a contract.
The answer to that,
The application.
the answer to that question, Kenny, is there is no contract. All we did was put an application. That is it.
Then ask if she...
The question has been answered, sir.
Instrument. It says right there, instrument. It doesn't say contract. She submitted an instrument.
Yeah.
All right, fine. A lawyer can blow this thing out in 10 seconds. Yeah, well,
Next one.
Where's the lawyer? Get him. No, where's this
On his way.
What do you think? Everybody out here is so stupid and ignorant, nobody has a lawyer? No, I don't think stupid. As a matter of fact, Slab got
Don't digress.
That's not a good issue for us.
Microphone!
Microphone!
Who's gonna pay the legal bills?
You are.
Get sued, somebody's got to
Give me another $1.
You can sue a nonprofit.
Yep.
And you have to answer it in a court of law with a lawyer.
Who's going to pay the filing
Ah, here we go. Yeah, we don't have any.
I'm not talking about just for you.
Do you have a question? Do you have another?
That's our problem.
Okay.
It's our problem.
It's a hypothetical question.
And you won't have anything more to worry about.
Good.
I'm already frozen.
Okay, we have some questions from the Ask It basket.
If it's doomed to fail,
Microphone!
you don't need to worry about
So after they have Ask It basket, this fellow over here, and then that lady.
I'm going to ask more questions. Do you want to hear what's in the bylaws?
Yes.
Written quoted right out of the law. All right, let's see it.
Okay, guys, what I'm also going to do is, because some of the people that didn't want to stand up, point of order, please, sir.
You're fools. They
Please.
don't want me to read these bylaws. That's out of the garbage can. This is the official one. That's out of the garbage can. Out of the garbage can.
I ask the audience to please allow me the opportunity to ask the questions that have been put in the Ask It basket.
Obviously, they don't even want you to know what's in their own official document.
The paper reads, I read the draft bylaws, and from first reading, it seems to be slanted towards full-time residents. The board is mainly full-timers also. Will you confirm that the intent is to provide places for both full-time and part-time users of Slab City? The answer to that is yes, including the person who comes and stays overnight. You're a slabber if you're here. This is to represent both full-time and part-time, however you want it, is to represent Slab City and all that reside. That is what this board is for. So that is an answer to that. Another question. What is the compensation or other financial arrangements with other officers and directors? See IRS Form 1023, Part 5, 1. The answer to that is there is none. I am not getting paid. You want to know the story of that? I've got building to do, and I don't have time because I'm here saving this for all of us. That's my personal statement. So there is no compensation for a nonprofit charity. No, sir, we do not have to be paid.
Somebody needs to do that. That's why.
Next question. The statement on it says, we live here not to have rules. Why now bylaws? So the question posed is, what will happen to persons who do not abide to the bylaws? The answer is, bylaws govern how the nonprofit works. They are not to tell the people how to behave. No, we do not, sir.
You will be the landowner. You will be the landowner.
We have a guy here who didn't get his chance.
Let me get one more in, and I'm going to let you in, okay? Because I just want to give on. Where was it?
Directors and members of committees may receive such compensation for their services and such reimbursement of expenses.
How will you keep people updated on developing issues, i.e. the minutes, website, and so forth? The way we're going to keep people updated is through the minutes. We post information at the information billboard that is up here. I actually will post information on both sides of that billboard because there are two sides. And also at the information kiosk. Another way for us to keep you informed is if you have an email address. If you provide us with an email address, we will do our best as the information comes through to disseminate that in electronic form. Now I'm going to give it to question back to the floor. Next question.
Where's the coffee cups and t-shirts? What's the back end on this? Expense accounts?
Well, you'll know if they start like
All right.
serving their slab.
Yeah, right. Awnings for the directors?
There, okay, you guys don't know me. A little bit of background. We're over here. There, that's better, I think. Yeah. You don't know me, so I'll go through a little bit. Ever since I was 16 years old, I've been involved in organizations as president, secretary, treasurer. I've been a member of the Salvation Army Band. Then I was the band leader. I was the president of Teen Town, president of the Stock Car Club. By the way, I have a little bit of advice right now for this board of directors. Is you think these guys are bad, you try to lead a fucking bunch of bikers and stock car drivers. And the only way to do it is get a copy of Robert's Rules of Order, memorize it, put it in your bylaws that is the book, the go-to book, the Bible for running these committees, because you can't run a committee. You can't run a meeting when people yell and harry this way, that way, everything else. You can't do it. You guys gotta, I know you all love this place. Yeah. Hey, I've been here 3 days. I've only fallen in love 3 times in my life, and this is one of them.
Do you have a question?
Yeah. What the fuck were you thinking? No. No, actually, that question has been answered pretty good. You were thinking you wanted to save this place, and you're doing a good job. But you better question whether you really want to buy it or not, because there's things you have to consider. One of them is, just a minute, I gotta look at my notes because I'm 69 and I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
But okay, well, basically it's squatters' rights. The right of possession. Anyone that's been here for 5 years or more, you already own this land. You don't have to buy it.
No, that's not right.
Anybody who's been here for less time than that has got easement rights. You don't have to ask anybody to use the fucking land. You already got permission. And not only that, you can argue that the state of California didn't want this damn land for 35 years. Why do they want it now?
Yeah.
They've been poor stewards. You've got a right to it more than they have.
Yeah.
And the federal government signed a quitclaim on it, which the state of California didn't follow up for in 35 years. But I see now that a big can of worms have been opened up by the God people over there buying that land, because until that point, there was no way you could have been evicted. Maybe now you can. You better stick together and figure it out. But buying the land is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
And
do you have a question?
Yeah.
I had a question. What the fuck were you doing?
There you go.
I guess it's been answered. Thank you very much.
It's going to take me all night to put this up on YouTube.
I did notes for just the, when was it, last night. And it was 1,000 words that just flowed out onto the computer. It was a matter of minutes.
The question was on squatters' rights.
They didn't answer this one. I put this in the basket.
Yeah, but they're not.
Taxes that are in rear on private property. You can claim the land. Only problem is there's never been a case in the United States where somebody could claim adverse possession, is what it's called, on a government piece.
No.
I'm not going to do it here.
Yeah.
There is no case. If you want to look, it makes no difference. I'm a paralegal.
Yeah.
Really? Where'd you get your...
I'm telling you, my
Where'd you get your
experience. If
degree?
you don't like it,
From the same place Lynn
so
did.
what?
So I'm just going to say that a little bit more loudly. Adverse possession has never actually worked in the United States against a piece of government-owned land. Against a piece of government-owned land. And if you don't believe it, go look it up for yourself.
Cite your source.
It's true. This is government-owned land, and no case. You're incorrect. It is owned by the state of California.
It's owned by the Teachers Association.
No, you're incorrect. I am actually a member of CalSTRS, which is and we get the profits and proceeds as part of the CalSTRS fund. However, they do not actually own the land. They only get profits and proceeds off California state
Just
land.
said it. She's a member. Conflict of interest.
You're a member of the people that administer the state teachers?
She gets proceeds from it.
Gets proceeds?
Conflict of interest.
Ooh. There's
See, no,
one.
I'm a paralegal. I know what that
There's
is.
some research there that'll be interesting to post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or wherever the hell we're going to live.
Nobody wants. I want my can I have my 2 minutes to read the bylaws?
All right, we have a question here from the Ask It Basket. I'd like to read it. I would like to know how it happened that two people from another country who know diddly about American laws, particularly at the local level,
we've opened the
think they are
Canadian door.
more qualified to give advice on the disposition of Slab City than a man who has run a business here for 30 years, employing Slab folks and dealing regularly with local laws and regulations. Why should we take any of your amateur advice when we have a much more knowledgeable person right here who believes your plans are a disaster?
Yes!
Well, first of all 10 of us were voted up here to be members, so that's one thing up front. The other thing is, as far as the country thing, we do have something that we all live by, and that is the Bill of Rights in this country. We cannot discriminate against people of national origin, period.
Well, you can't practice law in America if you don't have a legal license to do so.
Here's another Ask It Basket question.
Oops.
They just said the Bill of Rights allowed the Canadians to
The question
come down
is it
and
appropriate
form
or is
countries
it
down here.
board business to share our names and emails with people and organizations who want to disband the Slab City Board? I do not want to be emailed with people's opinions who don't want me to be a member of Slab City. The answer to that, just names, not contact information, will be released like we were talking earlier with Solar Mike.
So Mike is only going to get names.
For any members that want to have emails, to write their email on. That's what Mike Brett was doing. That's what I was doing before the meeting, and that's what that lady's doing right now.
You want to step up here?
Sorry.
We are. I want to clarify what Christina said, which is that we are not releasing contact information.
Okay, which is a...
How many members?
There's a list right there for members
They
to
voted
put their
to
email
let
address
him
on if they
have a
want to
complete
be
list.
contacted
Now they're
by
saying he's only
email.
going to get names.
Yeah.
Right there. She's holding it up. Mike Bright was doing it when I was up here.
Then you
I was
need-
doing
they
it
need
before.
to
So
vote
she's
on
doing
that.
it now.
list?
Yeah, but they need to vote on it now.
By the board.
They're
By the board.
backpedaling on it.
What's the guy with the black mask?
We're giving
Maybe he
Solar
doesn't
Mike the
want to
membership
know
list, yes?
anyone to know who he is.
Oh, that's right, the camera thing.
Yeah, we are only providing names to written requests, and only if they agree to not sell or distribute those names to any other person. We are not providing contact information of members to anybody that is a
not what they
major
said to
privacy
Mike.
concern.
That is not what they said
And
to Mike.
nobody wants unsolicited mail.
This is just on the cuff, off the cuff.
Yeah. That's not what they said to
They're
Mike.
pulling this stuff right out of you know where. Exo.
They're violating the Brown Act.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the law. I'm not a legal.
I'll get you. This. I'll get you.
You've become my honey.
I'll get you.
All right,
Because
can
they are
we get
violating
Jim
the Brown
Porter
Act.
to address the membership?
Why in the hell
Well,
do
I
we
don't
want
know,
to do
maybe-
that?
Turn it on.
I don't know, maybe we can. And since everybody wants us to, I suspect we probably should.
Yeah.
No.
We'll be taking that up probably at the next meeting.
No, don't poke Jim again. Jim's tired of getting poked. He's going to get pissed.
Just let him come out and say what he needs to say, get his car and leave.
Just let him do his job.
Are you done railroading everybody?
Did you read Mr. Sock's flyer?
No.
I'm doing a point of order.
I bet they don't.
I'm doing a point of order. We have one person recording questions and answers today. And from what the members have told the board, they would like to have the questions and answers put into the minutes of this meeting. So we're doing our best to do that. But it's one person taking the notes.
It's okay, it's going up on YouTube.
So if we could have one person ask a question at a time,
Well,
so
keep me
that
apprised.
person
I'll take care
recording
of the Facebook groups.
can then write the question
hopefully
down
it finishes
and then the
17 minutes.
answer. That would be helpful. Thank you.
Sorry, next question.
That was just a point of order.
So, there's another question from the floor?
I don't know.
Order.
Jesus.
State your point.
Well, the point is that you want to know if you could have Jim Porter talk. You can if you have a vote and decide to right now.
All right. Are you a member?
Has to go on the agenda.
Public comments need to go on the agenda too, and they're not there.
Rules of order. You better memorize that.
Thank you for that information. There's another question behind you, right there.
Oh, here's
the masked
Mr.
man.
Mask.
Would you state your name, please?
My name's...
Wait. Nobody else had to state their name.
Yeah, what is this?
Let him say his name.
Okay, carry on.
I'll just call myself Midnight Johnny.
Woohoo!
Midnight Johnny.
So let's say
Midnight
there are
Johnny
prospects who want to buy, but the auction has not come up. Let's say there is no auction for 5 years. Are you guys going to attempt to buy it within those 5 years, or are you going to just leave it alone until there's an immediate threat of somebody, like an auction or something about
The
that?
Beast.
That's what I want to know.
Seems to me it would be too late then.
I put my neck out.
Yeah, the Beast is here now.
I just want to know.
Okay.
Come on.
Not prepared.
You've done enough damage for today.
Meaning, let's say this sits for 5 years. Our application just sits. It doesn't go to auction, right?
For example.
By having this board here, by having our application sitting there, it won't go to auction. We get first bids.
No,
We get first
is
bids
that
because
really
we put
true?
the application in already.
It goes, they go and they say
When the
highest
time
and best
comes and that
to everyone
happens,
who's put in an
okay, we're not
application.
pushing for it, guys.
Right.
What they
We
do.
just put
And
an
if they-
When they're ready to-
application
when they're ready
in,
to
so
write
that if
it.
anybody else comes in,
Highest and best
or
will
the
go
state
out to
decides to
bid.
put this little block of the slabs up for auction, we get first dibs.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You get to put highest and best in.
To clarify, what you're saying is that no one's gonna like try and forward to purchase anything unless there is somebody like an auction already going on. Okay, so there's like pretty much nothing to worry about unless like, well, I mean, because what I was
now
like
he
hearing
said
these
something
guys
different?
saying about the whole history of people wanting to but then not wanting to deal with the cost of things. I think that could definitely save us for even ever having to buy it in the first place. So I just wanted to get that clear. So thank you for answering my question.
I mean, that would be our dream.
Yeah, right.
You're done?
Okay, ask a question.
A. Take posers.
Jack two horses.
Say it right. How do you do that?
What happens if we do nothing? Why the sudden rush?
Yeah.
If we do nothing, someone is going to come in and do the same thing.
The Beast.
And then we're out of here. The Beast will come in and get rid of us.
Okay.
What happened anyway?
Believe it, dude. This,
Who's the Beast?
There's
read
millions
the
of
Bible.
them.
Oh, there's millions
the
of
beast
beasts?
is Babylon, dude.
Oh,
All
no.
the bureaucrats. Hey, check it out, dude.
No, I'm the Beast.
I'm not here to screw you over, dude.
I'm
Okay?
the Beast.
Look, I
think so.
I am here because I want to be left alone. And I am doing everything I can to make sure everyone lives here and be left alone.
Goddamn right.
I'm not here to... Look, okay, why the sudden rush? We need to do this.
Because
if we don't, because someone else is going to come in and do this.
But it wasn't a rough.
It's a hot property. I imagine there's thousands of people that want this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's, okay, now, let me say this. I haven't mentioned this to any of you guys before, but I've been noticing helicopters flying over Slab City.
Black helicopters!
No, not military.
Oh.
I'm talking helicopters that are privately owned.
Oh,
that are like 12 or 16 passenger. No, I'm just saying, this is my personal opinion. Let me just say this, okay? Shut the fuck up and let me speak. No, can you shut the fuck up and let me speak? I've been seeing private helicopters flying over slabs. I have no idea, but I guarantee you it's not tourists from San Diego that are paying $160 to fly over us. My personal feeling is these are investors looking at this property. There's a solar plant down there's a solar company going in down there. There's a solar company going in back here. There's a lot of sun on this spot. Okay? It would.
So there's.
Well, I've got about another 10 minutes.
Because the state's
Okay, Jack, are you done?
this away.
They're trying to give us away, dude, for pennies on the dollar.
Because you have to clean it.
Spend millions to evict everybody.
Ask the businessman. Don't ask me. I'm no businessman, dude. I live here. My life is here. I plan on living here till I die. You think I'm gonna fight for the fucking life of Slab City? I'm not here to screw anybody over right now. Let me tell you this, dude. I won with the most votes, okay? I was voted to this board with the most fucking votes. Let me tell you why? Every person came up to me and said to me, Jack, you're a monkey wrench. I'm counting on you to shut this down. No, because I didn't have the information that you had. I was like you, dude. I'm like sitting here thinking, this people are like a land grab. It's not a land grab, man.